I'm going to do a subtraction with borrowing for you guys today. As promised, we're going to start with this one with 2, and what we have here are 2 mixed numbers. And we're going to, first of all, step 1 is to find our common denominator. So our common denominator would be between 8 and 6. So let's first of all figure out what would our common denominator be. So let's go to a new screen and let's just very quickly review that, right? If you have the number 8 and you have your denominator 6, let's write 8 as prime numbers. 8 is 4 times 2, yeah? So I'm going to come up here at the top, 4 times 2, but 4 is not a prime. So let's write it as a prime. That's 2 times 2, and then times 2. 6 is prime numbers, 3 times 2. So it's 3 times 2. Both of those are already prime, so I'm going to write those as prime. Now to find our least common multiple, which is also our common denominator, our least common denominator, you're going to find whichever one of these numbers. We have 2's in both of them and 3's in both. Okay? We're going to find whichever one of these happens the most times. These 2's happen lots, and then we have a 3 that's in at least one of them, so you have to include it as well. And it only happens the one time, but you still have to show it. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Multiply all those together. That's going to be your new common denominator. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, times 3 is 24. So the least common denominator between 8 and 6 is going to be 24. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to rewrite both of these fractions with a 24 on the bottom. And I'm going to say to myself, what have I got to do to 8 to get to that 24? I have to multiply it by 3. But if I have to multiply this denominator by 3, I also have to multiply this numerator by 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? What do I have to do to this 6 to get to 24? I had to multiply it times 4. And if I had to multiply this times 4, I also have to multiply that 5 times 4 and get 20. All right. So these are my 2 new fractions. 13 and 9 24s minus 8 and 20 24s. I'm going to rewrite them right here so that they're a little easier to see without all the lines. And you're going to see we do not have enough to subtract. 9 24s cannot subtract 20 24s. So we have to borrow. And remember, how do we borrow? We're going to borrow from this 13. We have 13 $1 bills. And we're going to borrow one of those and still have 12. But how are we going to write the one that we borrowed? We're going to write it as 24 over 24, because we can write that one any way that we choose to, as any number over itself. And we're going to add that 1 to the fraction part that we already had. So we're going to then combine these two, and we now end up with 12. That's our whole number part, and then 24 plus 9 makes 33 over 24. Now then, we have enough to do our subtracting of our fraction part. 12 minus 8 is 4. 33 minus 20 is 13. So our final answer answer would be 4 and 13 over 24s, and we see that that will not reduce. So this is our final answer with a smiley face because it's